I've been saying this for about a decade now. And I'm glad that this is now coming out in the most unfortunate of circumstances, but the truth is coming out. And I've been saying Abhijit, I've been saying Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party, Shubhankar Bhattacharya, Nikhil Jain supports the Congress, and Nalin Kohli. I've been saying that, you know, these so-called activists are very, very dangerous elements. They all want to create an act of atmosphere of terrorism. And now we find that the accused terrorist Lalit Jha has disclosed that the intention was to create an atmosphere of anarchy in the country, so that by attacking the Parliament of India, Abhijit, they can compel the government of India to meet their unjust and illegal demands. And that their conspiracy was to create an anarchy-like environment in the country and get their demands met. In other words, this terrorist plot and the attack on Parliament, which was planned for over a year, was an act of violence to pressurize the government to give in to their demands. So this was the clear intention in this case. However, for the last 48 hours, one group is trying to give the impression that this is some bunch of disgruntled, innocent people who just carried out an act of quote-unquote mischief. In your view, what does this reflect, Abhijit, the facts that are now coming out about them?
Well, look, first of all, we know that these are activists. They're left-wing.
Can you unmute yourself?
Incited. Sorry, can you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so first of all, these are hardened left-wing activists. They have been radicalized by this constant nonsense of, you know, second emergency, fascist government, Tanashahi, whatnot, a product of the hatred generated against the democratically elected government of this country, number one. Number two, we need to look at this as a dry run. Do you remember, before Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, 15 days prior to that, that same person, Shivarasan and co., that same Danu lady, they had carried out a dry run. I believe this is a dry run for something far more significant that was planned for later on. Now, we still do not know what the ultimate goal was, except you tell me, how do 5-6 people who have no connection to each other from different parts of India, completely different states, just one similar ideology, get together, plan this, because this was very carefully planned. There was training, because the visitors gallery is about some 15 to 20 feet higher than the floor of Parliament. This guy jumped from the visitors gallery into the floor of Parliament, knowing full well that any attack on Parliament like this would get the heaviest of charges and there would be zero sympathy for the person. Why did they do that? This is not a hero moment. They're not going to get any hero treatment unless all 5 or 6 of them were so completely deluded that they thought that the entire country was going to celebrate them. In fact, it was the opposition MPs who gherowed this chap and beat the living daylights out of him. So clearly, these people have been put up to this. We still do not, you know, security checking at Parliament, when I went during construction, was intense. There is no way these canisters could have gotten in just like that. There has to have been some kind of major security. That too on the same day that Parliament attacked, the anniversary of Parliament attack. And when security tightened, when Guru Patwat Singh Pannu is in Parliament. How did this happen? These are not low actors. They have been put up to this by somebody. And it is this whole network of NGOs. This NGO mentality which they use to attack the government, and they have to do, because that's what their funding depends on. Thankfully, one big NGO...
Okay, I'm getting and losing your audio, so I'm going to fix it in a minute, Abhijit. I lost you in the second part. In the last 30 seconds, I sort of not getting your audio very clearly. But I'd like a response before I get Nalin Kohli into this very important debate. Now, it has been found out, Siddharth Sharma, after the interrogation of the terrorist Lalit Jha, that the nature of the terrorist attack was so intense and menacing that the attackers worked on 2 plans. The thought process and the level of detailing in the plots and plans indicate that they were thinking like terrorists. Can I get Siddharth on the screen, please? On the right. Plan A, Manoranjan D and Sagar Sharma will go inside the Parliament as they were prepared. Under this plan, they said that they Amol and Neelam will go near the parliament from the Transport Bhavan area outside the parliament and burn the bombs there. Plan B, they said that if for some reason Neelam and Amol were not able to reach parliament, then in their place Mahesh and Kailash would go near the parliament, burn the bombs and raise slogans in front of the media cameras. While when Lalit, Mahesh and Kailash did not reach Vicky's house in Gurugram on the 9th or 12th December, Amol and Neelam were assigned the responsibility of doing this work at any cost. Now after this, Neelam made a plan to hide. In this plan, Mahesh was given the responsibility to help this terrorist hide from Rajasthan when he left Delhi to escape from the police. Mahesh was hired. He works as a laborer. There is no ideological intention here. Kailash and Mahesh are cousins. This is a paid operation. Mahesh got Lalit a room in a guest house on his ID to hide his identity. Mahesh and Kailash were constantly taking information. The Gurugram meeting, the 5 attackers arrived from outside Delhi. Look at the way they are planning. This is a complete terrorist operation in Gurugram. Stayed at the residence of the terrorist Lalit Jha to hatch the plan. Then the whole meeting happened in Vishal's Gurugram house. The bombs, the smoke bombs were brought from Mumbai. Sagar traveled twice to Mysore to meet Manoranjan. Sagar, whose father is a carpenter, used to drive an e-rickshaw. How was he able to afford travel expenses from Lucknow to Mysore in Karnataka? So there was some intense and large level of funding behind it also. Siddharth, are you realizing? I am saying this is a very well-planned terrorist operation. And I totally agree with Abhijit that this could have been a dry run. I'd like Siddharth to respond. Siddharth Sharma.
Yeah, Arnab, first of all, it's a condemnable act, breach of parliament. But isn't it strange that what Arnab discovers sitting in a studio, that this plan has been ongoing for 2 years, a BJP MP and its entire government of 10 years didn't get wind of it, and that same BJP MP gave them passes inside the parliament. So basically, Chaukidar soya hua tha. Police do not have the liberty to berate criminals. Police's only job is to stop crime. So everything else is here is a diversion. Real story is BJP stands exposed for providing notional security in the name of national security. Anyone can enter BJP ruled parliament or BJP ruled Ladakh at will, and the icing on the cake is that the the pass was provided by a BJP MP certifying the smoke canister carriers as his own guests, and all this despite there is a clear social media threat from outside India that there would be a security breach on the anniversary of the parliament. Now, as far as this activist thing is concerned, I'm quoting here from The Hindu. The Hindu says that one of the persons who got into parliament yesterday, he was a Modi fan, as well as the family was in good terms with the BJP MP from Mysore. So the point here is that BJP today stands exposed. BJP is caught with its trousers up to its knees. It is providing notional security to this nation in the name of national security. It's as simple as that. It is providing notional security to this nation in the name of national security. It's as simple as that.
I want Nalin to respond to that, and then you can come in out here. You can say what you want, but you cannot take away the fact that this was a terrorist attack. I hope you have the humility, honesty and straightforwardness to admit so. Don't try and qualify it with this or that.
My opening statement was this is a condemnable act, and whoever aided and abetted these kind of people to enter into the parliament, they are also co-conspirators here.
Then you must.
May I now have my little word?
I think the people, I'll tell you who abetted and aids things like this. Political parties. Political parties who use activists as cover, which is why my hashtag is no activist cover. You are the people. You use the so-called activists as your B team, C team and D team. And you have been doing so for decades now.
There has been a social media threat from outside India that on the anniversary of the parliament attack, something like this would have been carried out.
Yeah, who screams the most when the funding, foreign funding of activists is stopped? Who screams the loudest when the Soros money cannot be funneled in? Who says freedom of expression is under threat? Put the newspaper down. I would not even consider that worthy to be a newspaper. My question is, please understand, fundamentally the same question
whether
is,
you or
stop
I
using
agree
these
whether
people as your
it is
alibis.
worthy or not, it is a news. It's a
Yes, and it is the paper which published it is the paper which published the fake news story in the Rafale case. I'm still waiting for a clarification of the half-truth put out in that case.
Chief editor has photographs with the Prime Minister.
I'm still waiting for an apology or a detailed corrigendum on that.
Has been invited by the Honorable Prime Minister of India in the Prime Minister's house. That is also true.
Mr. Goswami, I'd like to say a few things.
I want a response from Nalin to the...
And I'll request.
Nalin, the focus tonight, let's keep it clear. The focus tonight is, there is in my view a great deal of embarrassment among Siddharth, Nikhil, other activist supporters. How come some of our own carried out this terrorist act? And all I'm saying is they've always wanted to do so. You should have seen the signals when these same people went and said, Bharat tere tukde honge. Inshallah, inshallah. Bharat, when they celebrated Dantewada, when they celebrated the killing of 76 CRPF Jawans, I read the warning signals to you. When they said, Afzal, hum sharminda hai, tere qatil zinda hai, yahi hai wo log.
Tere qatil zinda hai.
Please on the debate. Nalin.